it tonight. I'll see if I can get this one up tonight too. And we'll get all the meetings from the previous couple weeks up for sure by tomorrow. Want to welcome everybody. I know there's a lot going on with the coronavirus and what is going to happen to the market. We just had a real estate call, stock call about the stock market and the challenges that are happening there. Just an overview of some of the things that we might see with this situation. First, let me say, I'm confident this kind of scenario is going to be resolved, and at some point, life's going to come back to normal. That being said, I think it's important to prepare and be in position to take advantage of the market when it starts to recover. So, a couple of things you might start to see if you haven't recognized it already. Obviously, they're asking everyone to stay at home. I just came from Oklahoma City, and when I entered Canada, they asked me to self-quarantine for 14 days. So I'm at home, going to do that. I think that that advice is good, and to wash the hands and keep your distance from people and avoid contact with people when you can. Just till this is resolved. So at some point, it will be resolved. That being said, in the coming months, we might see some things that might seem alarming, and I just want to share them with you. I don't mean to alarm you. I don't. I just want you to be prepared, okay? So what we might see is that, we might see our unemployment rate go up in the market just because people are being told to stay at home. Restaurants and the service industry has been hit pretty hard. There, be situations where the government's getting involved, obviously, and seeing what they can do. But there might be a situation where things like taxes are delayed and, mortgage payments for properties might be given a grace period of a couple months because people are not working or not at home. At home, not at work. We might see tenants, some delinquent rents from tenants. That's a possibility. So we're going to see possibly a rise in unemployment. Okay, we might see some grace periods for mortgage payments. Okay, we might see rents delinquent. Okay, from your properties. All that stuff might happen. It's very possible that this situation will last longer than we want it to, and it's going to affect everybody. The upside, if there is any, it's a catch-22. It's affecting everybody in the world. So it's terrible, obviously, that it's affecting everybody in the world. But at the same time, what it's done is everybody's kind of in the same boat. So it's not like one country is, having these issues and it's creating a hardship only for that country. So there's some unification on how the governments and central banks are dealing with this. There's a lot of stimulus and a lot of money going to be sloshing around. And for real estate, we might see that people defer listing their properties, during this period. We also might see the huge inventory of property coming on the market at one time. We might see people, hopefully not a large amount because the government will get involved, bankruptcies and default in properties, so foreclosures. That's all possible. So all those things are going to create, a unique situation in the market if those things come to pass. So we might see the real estate market dip, but then, so we might see a dip in the real estate market down, but then a rise because there's going to be a lot of money in the market. Interest rates are going to be down. Mortgages to keep things moving. The Bank of Canada and the U.S. has gone to zero for the Federal Reserve. In Canada, it's dropped a half point. So there's a lot of things going on that are going to affect the interest rates of mortgages. So refinancing is something that we might start to see get very popular very quick. And I think that the best advice I think I can, or one of the things I can tell you is during this period is you want to be as liquid as possible. Okay. I think that, refinancing the properties, I think is not a bad idea. I don't know how low the rates are going to go. They could go lower than what they are now. They're pretty low as it is. So it's not a terrible idea for sure. I like the idea of being liquid, having cash on hand or available. And I don't mean cash in your hand. I just mean available capital to jump in the market when the time comes. So, during these coming months, finding ways to access more capital, I think, is wise. Any areas that you can extend the available capital to you, I think is a great idea to help you take advantage. If you can do that, I think it would be good. So refinancing would be one of those options. Lines of credit, any source of credit. We'll probably see a flurry of letters come in asking us for balance transfers, 0% for the next 12 months. We'll probably see, and we're going to see this. Cars will be, a great time to buy a car in the coming months, I'm sure, because the inventory will build up, and they'll probably be making some crazy offers, 0% for. I think I saw one for 0% for 2 years on one of the car companies was selling cars. So there's going to be a lot of incentives to buy right now. I think you take advantage when you can, but staying liquid is the most important thing, I think, at this point in the coming months to take advantage of the market. And when I say being liquid, I think, if you don't know what I mean having available capital to access. Very, very important. So, any way that you can access more available capital or extend the available capital that you have, I think would put you in a good position when the market bounces. And again, we don't know exactly when that is. We may not see any relief. Wouldn't shock me to see any relief until summer. So spring, I think, is going to be could be challenging before we get some balance, some stability, and good news about dealing with this particular situation. And I don't think it's something that's going to go away. Even when they get the vaccine, it's going to take time to vaccinate people. We might see this. Most likely, we'll see it a second time or even a third time in the coming seasons. So we're going to manage it. I mean, it's going to be manageable, I'm sure. It's just the coming months are going to be, there'll be some bad news coming through. So I don't think, I don't want you to panic. I want you to be prepared for the opportunity that's going to come, because this really, for some of us, is going to be a once in a lifetime, or twice in a lifetime kind of opportunity to get in the market and take advantage of what's happening. This is very rare. 2008 was an opportunity. 2000, the crash of the market then. But it's happened in the 80s and 90s too. So being in a position to be able to take advantage of it, I guess, is what I'm talking about. So all of you are in a position, positive position for sure, but in a position to take advantage of the market because you're educated and getting educated. And if you take some steps to get liquid and extend that available capital to yourself, then I think that there's going to be some amazing opportunities that you won't see for a long time, So we definitely want to get ready for that. I had a money investor that wants to lend me money for a flip. You think it is best to wait? I think that if you got to recognize that the market is we're probably going to see, the real estate market, flatten, slightly down, um, for a little bit during this time. So I would be careful that, if you're getting into a flip, that you can liquidate the property, right? That's very important. That your numbers are right, and you can liquidate it at a profit. So if you know you can liquidate it at a profit, I would imagine that what's that there, Frank? What is that? Step decline of British. Okay. Let's see what this is. Just a heads up, folks. And I know Frank, I appreciate it. Just that um, oh, I see. Yeah, right. Just let me know ahead of time that you're going to throw something up, if you could, just so I know what it is before you throw it up. I would appreciate it, but no worries. Um, time to wait to get the most of our market when it reaches the bottom. So it looks like there's an article where it says steep decline ahead for British Columbia home sale. So no worries, my friend. No worries. Don't even worry about it, Frank. Don't even worry about it. So this is an example. I want to let you know something, that typically in markets, the high price markets are going to get hit the hardest. So markets that have been, progressing the furthest away from the average are going to get probably hit the hardest. Markets that are, Toronto. Yeah, Toronto's subject to it. Vancouver's subject to it. Markets where they're more stable and flat probably won't see this, as serious an impact. But those higher price markets will definitely feel a pinch. Should in situations like this. Let's see. 4 or 5 year mortgage rate will be 2.995 for the foreseeable future. I cut out. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Just reading this real quick. So basically, the article's talking about the challenges that are gonna be happening. So I think that you can still hear me now, right? I just tapered off because I was reading. I'm sorry about that. Okay, good. So, be prepared for the market to flatten out or even go down in some areas. The higher priced ones, like I said, are going to probably be hit the hardest. So when you're getting into real estate deals, I would rather, stick to strategies like wholesale, things where you're not going to be trapped in the property. You have to be diligent with your numbers. So please, if you're looking at properties and you want extra help, that's what I'm here for. I'll look at the numbers with you. This is very, very important. We can't make mistakes in this market. It could be really bad. So I think that you want to be extremely diligent in your due diligence and careful when you're looking at flipping or purchasing a property. Now, if a property is being purchased and it cash flows, that's great. But I want you to remember, I do anticipate a spike in unemployment. So you might tenants, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the government said suspended evictions for people. Like the eviction process is going to be delayed because people can't pay rent. This is all possible if people are being told to stay at home, right? If they're being told to stay at home and they can't work, this is going to be a problem. Still cut off? You mean my voice is being cut off? Really? Okay. Let me try something.
Can everybody hear me now? There we go. Sorry about that. I just restarted it, fix it. Okay, good. All right. So there was a question. Let's see. How much value, how much undervalue do you think is best for the situation right now? How much undervalue? What do you mean by that, Diana? How much undervalue? You mean like how low will it go? Is that what you mean? I mean, I think you're going to see, days on market go longer. Um, so you have to, it's going to be tougher to sell properties, I think, in this environment. So, you know, it's tough, Diana. It's tough to say. We'd have to look at the deal. You can share the deal with me. I'll look at it, tell you what I see. But the overall market's probably going to take a hit, and you got to make sure that you make a buffer for it. So I'd be careful. I'd be careful. That would make me a little nervous unless it was a great deal. So this is what I would say to you, Diana. Could you buy this house and rent it out, or hold it? How long could you hold it, or rent it out? Could you hold it for 6 months instead of 90 days? I think for the market being the way it is, this market is probably going to see a lot of inventory at once. I don't know how they're going to manage that when the market, reverses or we get past this. That might be 6 months from now. It's tough to say. So there's going to be a lot of situations that are going to be affecting us. What we need to do is be prepared for them and put ourselves in the best possible position. So every deal needs to be analyzed over, very clearly, very closely to ensure that you're going to profit from it. So a flip right now, I think might be, that flip 4 months ago, 5 months ago would have been okay, but it needs to be looked at again, Diana, because you might not be able to unload it. That could be a serious challenge. So you might not get the price that you're looking for or you anticipate. So be prepared for renters, delayed payments, delayed evictions, which I don't think anybody should be evicted really. But I would say you agree with you, Diana. That renting would be. This is why I was saying something like wholesale would make me feel better, because you're not holding the property. If you don't unload it, the contract's dead, right? It's very little pain, if any, if you do a wholesale deal and it doesn't work out, because you're not taking possession of the property. But if you're buying the property, or you're, for rent, or which I think at this point is highly risky, uh, for sure, because of the situation. Because if they're telling everybody to stay home, and people don't go to work, uh, there's gonna be probably a little pop in inflation. Sorry, not inflation. My apologies. And unemployment. Unemployment's going to be something that we're probably going to see spike. I can tell you in the U.S. it's going to be high. In Canada, I can't see Canada escaping it. It's going to be high, higher than This is not something that's going to go away overnight. Doesn't look like. So if you see all this, and some of you might be affected directly. So I think that this is what I'm saying to you: get liquid. Get liquid, and stay in touch with your lenders. Stay in touch with your banks. Stay on top of, and I'll stay on top of it too, and we'll talk about it on our calls in the coming weeks. But we're gonna, we need to know if your bank is, if you're going to be laid off or you're not going to be working, you need to, have a conversation with your lenders, have a conversation with your bank, and tell them, this is what's going on. mortgage payments are going to be late. If that's a reality, there's going to be challenges with meeting those commitments. So I think that it's important for us to get ahead of it. If they get EI and welfare, they would pay rent, won't they? Yeah, if they're getting paid by the government, you're actually probably going to be in a better off situation because the government can pay you directly. So I have property like that, and they pay me directly. The checks come to me. So, but if their unemployment insurance will be there, it'll be available, and they might extend that. They might bump up actually the unemployment. How much they give. To keep the economy and people going. So all that's possible. All of that's possible. So if you're being affected by it directly, I would tell you to get in front of it and talk to your institutions if that happens to you. And I hope that doesn't happen to any of you. But it's definitely something that can affect you. So you definitely want to have some steps maybe that you can take, so you're not a victim of this kind of situation. You want to be able to get in front of it and take steps to better position yourself, because there will be a huge opportunity at the end of this. No question. There's gonna be some really crazy stuff happening in the market, and that's what we want to be prepared for. I put some lenders' numbers in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so and just what I was talking about, lenders. That's great. That's great. Lenders, your particular lenders, for your own properties, for your own home. If you're having problems with renters, if you're having problems with um, your own mortgage payment, I think it's wise to reach out to them and let them know, look, this is what's going on. I've been laid off, or this is what's going because of this virus. My properties, my tenants have been laid off. I can't collect rent. There's no rent. So this is a problem. I want to talk to you and let you know this is what's going on, and obviously I want to deal with it. So uh, I anticipate the longer this holds out, the more likely these things are going to happen. And again, it's as we're told, and nobody really knows exactly when, but as we're told, this is going to take months for the vaccine that can be used for the whole population. And then everyone needs to get vaccinated, and then you know this whole closing of borders and stuff. At some point, these places are going to open their borders again, and it's going to linger. So to wipe it off the face of the earth would be awesome. I don't know what to do that. You'd have to vaccinate everybody in the world, and it'd have to work on everybody in the world. So this is pretty serious. It's gonna go on for a while. Again, we want to take advantage of the opportunity. We want to take advantage of the opportunity, and I want you to be prepared. So be liquid, okay? Be liquid. Access as much available capital. Extend your available capital. Be prepared to jump in the market, because there's going to be some awesome opportunities, wild opportunities, where you could see the BC market or the Toronto market drop, 10, 15%. Who knows? I don't know. But you won't see those prices who knows when you'll see those prices again. So you want to be able to be in a position where you can take advantage. They are predicting about a 50 to 70% to be affected by the virus as well. Well, yeah. That doesn't sound crazy to me. Is it that large? I don't know, but that doesn't sound crazy to me. Infection-wise, yeah. I'm telling you, from me, personally, I anticipate at some point I'll be infected. It's inevitable that I'll get. Most of us, have to consider that, and this is why it's important. This is why it's important for you to be healthy, take care of yourself, um, take the proper precautions. This is definitely a time to be healthy. You want to be healthy at this point, because a lot of people, from what the reports are saying, they get it, and most people get past it. The percentage is very low that suffer to the extreme. So as far as we know, so it's just prepare yourself, because this is once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. It will be for the market. There's no question. This is, nobody knows how long this is going to take or what it's going to look like on the other end. but there's going to be some amazing opportunities, amazing. And this is where you want to be, available and capital available to jump in the market. Okay, it doesn't have to be cash, just access to capital. Okay, access to capital is what we're looking for. Okay, access to capital. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me 1 sec. I just want to check something. Okay, so actually, okay, I got a few more minutes. I just want to evaluate a deal here. This is what I'll do. Okay, so why don't I just do this? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention before we wrap up is that I'm thinking of, if this coronavirus thing and us being at home is going to continue, I think I'm going to run 2 meetings a week since we're all home. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can set that up. Either starting next week or the following week, we'll do 2 of these a week, just to keep us posted. Okay, so I'll let you know by next meeting what that schedule looks like. I think we're going to run 2 a week just to keep us all on top of everything and make sure that we're ready to pounce, on the deals when they come. So let me just check something. Let me check something real quick. Okay. So Nina, you sent me a deal, yes? I don't know which WhatsApp group that is. If somebody wants to help get everybody on the same one, that's good. If the price of oil continues to decline, do you think we would have good opportunity in Alberta? I think Alberta is going to be in some serious pain for a while. That oil price, until these Saudi Arabia and Russia decide to get together and let the price go back up, that's going to be a serious problem for sure. At $22 a barrel, not many outfits can produce. Some of the big ones for sure, but at $22, that's a serious. I mean, $20 oil, and to tell you the truth, it's not insane for it to go under 20. It could go to 10. We really don't know. This is going to be a big situation for Canada and for places like Alberta. Huge. If that continues to stay down there, it's going to be a problem. Let's see here. Oh yes, we were just trying to understand our current rental property. Okay. Yep, sure. I'll look at that. $10 is just how much it costs for transport of oil. Yeah, I mean it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing for a lot of people, and because of the coronavirus, the need for oil is, I mean, it's going to create massive reserves of oil. Who's buying oil? If the economies come to near a standstill, who's going to need oil? Who's buying oil? So it's a serious situation that's going to create a lot of inventory, of oil, unused oil. So definitely going to be an interesting time, and again, opportunity. I guess the good news is gas prices. Gas is going to go down quite a bit, no doubt. Unfortunately, I don't know how many people are going to be able to take advantage of it because no one's driving around right now, or very little driving around. Okay, so let me look at this. Okay, so I would wait before investing in Alberta. The hit is huge and worse to come. Yeah, it's tough to time the market. I don't anticipate that the that's gonna be a rapid return uh, for that market, but that market's gonna get hit. That market's gonna get hit hard. Uh, Gold is another one. It doesn't look like gold's going to be a savior in this situation, just because it's not a financial crisis. It's a social crisis, right? It's not because there's irresponsible spending um, or management of debt by these governments. It's something beyond money. So that's making it a little bit different. Where gold would be definitely a safe haven when people are afraid the dollars are going to collapse or there's been mismanagement of those things. But it's never bad. I mean, if you want to buy some gold, sorry, you can do that. Some people, I was mentioning 5%, they like to keep the portfolio with 5% as a hedge. Profit wise, I think it's tough to say. I don't anticipate gold flying up because the market's coming down. That's at least what we've been seeing. Okay, so let's share my screen and we'll look at this deal. Okay. Everybody see that okay? Okay. Let me do this. There we go. Okay. So, Nina, this is yours, right? So the asking price 700, purchase price 700, 2200 is the rent of this. It's in Vancouver. Okay. Cap rate is 3. Okay. You have, looks like that's the current mortgage, 546. And the out of pocket, so you put 154 as equity, is that right? Okay. All right. So this shows that it's cost you about 500 bucks a month, is that right? Okay. Sorry. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, okay. Let me ask you something, and I honestly don't know. Did you paid 700,000 for this? No. Okay. What was? How long have you had the property? 11 years. Okay, that's about right. Okay. So you bought it for 396. Okay. So in October. Sorry. We just took a bunch of cash out, cash for your own home. Okay. So just a suggestion or something to consider. That's okay. Refinanced. Okay. Just something to consider. Something to consider. Uh, Obviously the property is not cash flowing. Part of the reason is I'm sure it's because you took equity out of it. This is a rental property, yes? It is now. Okay. So this was an old home and you're in a new home now, right? This was your old house, is that right? Okay. So I'm just saying that it might not be a bad idea to talk to a realtor and see what you could sell this for, now. If you sold it now, what would be the impact? Could you sell it for the price you want it? Does that make sense? The reason I say that is if you decide to hold on to it, and that's okay to hold on to it, um, in the coming months you might see some downward pressure on this price, which if it goes down considerably, you're going to be feeling like you have to hold it until it comes back, which is tough to say when that is. That might be 6 months, that might be a year. Um, I'm just considering, if you sell and you get the price you want, then you're out and the risk is gone, right? And you made some money and you're happy and you could still use that capital to invest, right? If you decide to keep it, which is totally up to you, right? It's totally up to you if you decide to keep it. You just the loss may increase, it might extend, and the price might go down. Now, the reason I'm telling you to consider ultimately to possibly see what you could sell for is it's not making you any money right now, right? Does that make sense? So I think a phone call to your realtor to see what it would sell for today if you wanted to get rid of it quickly and now, what would you get for it? And just see if the price is appealing to you. If it's not, it's not. But to improve this property, it would be difficult because the rent that you're bringing in is not enough to cover the expense of ownership. If we go over here and say, we wipe out, well, you got maintenance and management wiped out. You have vacancy only. So yeah, I think that something that could be considered. I think it was a good property before we refinanced. It does. Yeah, I mean, even when you refinanced it, it probably, it might have been cash flowing for you, but it wasn't really making you a higher return, right? You understand that, right? It wasn't really making you a higher return. You just had a lot of equity in it, right? So your mortgage payment was relatively low relative to the income that you're bringing in. I didn't adjust the GRM or cap rate is something I would adjust when evaluating. Isn't that correct? I didn't adjust the GRM. So the GRM, the property, when you say adjust, what do you mean? These are obviously not, 3 is relatively low, but not crazy for that market. 26 GRM is, I mean, that's what the numbers say. When you say change them, what do you mean? Do you mean looking for better numbers? Is that what you mean? Or different numbers? Is that what you mean? So to give you an example, just, you said you got it for close to 400,000, I think, something. And this was 400. Just an example to show you. When this in your mortgage was originally how much before you refinance? How much was the mortgage? Yeah, they'll automatically calculate. 180. So if we were like, yeah, like, this was the situation, so when you look at it like this, you come down here, you're making money, yes? You're cash flowing, right? But your return was only 5.3. Yeah. Your return was only 5.3, and 5.3 is pretty low. You want, obviously we want that to be 10. So it looks appealing because you're cash flowing. The dilemma is that even though you're cash flowing, your return it's too low. 5.3, in my view at least, is too low, right? You can do better than that. So this refinancing, I get it. You were trying to get some capital out. You were buying another house. Makes sense to me. I'm just wondering if, the possibility of selling the property as an exit, get the capital, the equity you have left in it, and reinvest it in something that cash flows for you. Is a good number for return? No, 5.3 is not a good number. A good number is 10 or higher. Well, this is it. Yeah, I understand. This is why I wanted you to talk to your realtor. Okay, so it's not probably the best time to sell a property, but it's probably going to get worse. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't sell it, and this is it. I'm not telling you to sell it tomorrow, but I think it's worthy to have a conversation. It warrants to have a conversation about, what is it? What can I sell it for? How long would it take to sell? Just so you have an idea of where it is, right? Otherwise, you might be, holding on to that a little bit longer for this thing to pass, and you might see some pain, obviously, in the cash flow department, which you already are going through. But you also might see downward pressure on the price. So the price, if the price might be a little bit less, so you might be holding on to this longer. I mean, it's up to you. I think a conversation is what you want at this point to figure that out. But I think talking to your realtor and just saying, if we listed this property, what could we get it for? And I just want to say, let her or him say whatever they say, but ask them, let them share with you what they think, and then after that, say, what would it take? What price would I need to put it at to sell it now? If I wanted to sell this in the next, 30 days or 2 weeks, what would it take? Now they might tell you, don't even bother. Don't even bother. It's not the time to do it. All those things are possible. So I think it's something to look at. That's all. Does that make sense, Nina? I just want you guys to look at it. Yeah, just have the conversation. Just have the conversation. If you need more help with it, you let me know, okay? I'm more than happy to help you out with that, okay? Just let me know what the conversation was, and we can talk it out, okay? No problem. My pleasure. Okay, Michael, in my area, I'm seeing inventory sold much higher than average. Does that make sense? What do you mean, Michael? You're seeing inventory sell much higher. What do you mean? Like the prices are higher? Is that what you mean? Do you mean like bidding wars for property? Is that what you mean? Okay. So I don't know exactly the area. Maybe it's the neighborhood, but I would expect that the Alberta market is going to have some challenges with the oil price, and inventory is might build up again. I can't specifically say what. Let's see, valued at $6.99 and almost $7.99. That is odd. So a property was listed for $6.99. It was sold for $7.99. Is that what you mean? It sold or it listed? Someone was listing a property at $6.99. Someone paid $800,000 for it. Is that right? Is that right, Michael? In the last 10 days, I meant listed higher and sold at that price. So it was listed at 700 and sold at 800. Is that right? Is that what you mean? Okay. All right. So, and this no, the other way around. It was listed at 8 and sold for 7. Is that what you mean? The value is around $6.99. Where'd that come from, though? The $6.99, like an appraisal? Is that what you mean? I think it's marketing tactics to show a huge discount. They are being listed higher than that. I don't know. I don't know exactly where the value. Sorry about that, folks. My apologies. Set us up. Wait for a sec. Okay. So from prices of similar properties sold 3-6 months ago. So I wouldn't be shocked if the real estate market in Alberta had a recovery from, say, a year ago. But this new environment with oil prices down, I think in this whole virus thing, I couldn't imagine what would motivate somebody to pay, you know, over and above, value price. I don't know exactly what to say about that particular area, but it wouldn't shock me to see a year ago from now the market was going up, but to see it continue to go up would be interesting to see. I don't know exactly what the motivation of somebody would be to pay more for the property. Does that make sense? I know I didn't really tell you why. Yeah, I don't know why someone would do that. I mean, the market the market should, uh, at least anticipate that the market's going to continue to build up an inventory. Okay, folks, I'm going to wrap up. Any more questions? Okay, if you're good, type in yes or Y. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so just a reminder, we're going to be 9 o'clock next Wednesday, and I'll talk to you about scheduling possibly additional meetings. Also, just to remind everybody that attended and will attend, the stock is at 8 o'clock. The stock is at 8 o'clock, and we'll be going through options. Okay, folks, I want everybody to have a good night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay healthy, and remember, get liquid. Okay, get liquid. Get as much available capital that you can. Get liquid. Nina, get back to me about that property. See what you guys come up with. And anybody who needs me, you know how to reach me. Otherwise, be safe, and I'll see you all next week.